Good evening. I'm Ed Murrow, and this is Channel 13, WNDT, something rather different.
Audio Jungle.
Forever changing the world of journalism, Edward R. Murrow entered the broadcast scene with stunning, hard-hitting reports of World War II, and further descended to fame when he publicly criticized McCarthyism during the Cold War. Murrow was a reporter and producer for CBS's entire career. His career in journalism officially began during World War II when he broadcasted live updates of the war from London. CBS sent Murrow and a team of correspondents in 1937 to Europe.
This is Trafalgar Square. The noise that you hear at the moment is the sound of the air raid siren.
At the time during the war, broadcast journalism was very restricted and neither recorded sounds nor interviews were allowed on air. The team single-handedly created the concept of broadcast journalism. This brand new field of news was published by electrical methods versus printed newspapers and posters. These broadcasts traveled via radio, cable, and television. Their daily reports were considered visionary, and from these, CBS created a daily news feature in the fall of 1938, the CBS World News Roundup. This is broadcasting's longest-running news series, and still runs twice a day in the morning and evening.
That's what it looked like and sounded like earlier this morning at the CBS World News Roundup. Today marks the 75th anniversary of the radio broadcast. It first began airing before World War II and gave us the legendary Murrow Boys.
Murrow attended college at Washington State College and majored in speech. He graduated in 1930 and by 1935 had joined CBS as the director of talks and education. He would remain with CBS throughout his entire career. In a span of 14 years, Murrow gained national prominence through a variety of programs. These included the CBS Evening News, Hear It Now, See It Now, and This I Believe. Hear It Now was a weekly CBS radio show hosted by Murrow and co-produced with friend and producer Fred W. Friendly. It was the result of a series of historical albums narrated by Murrow and produced by Columbia Records, called I Can Hear It Now. On November 18, 1951, Hear It Now was moved to television and rechristened See It Now. See It Now focused primarily on controversial issues throughout the 1950s, but is most remembered as the show that berated Senator Joseph McCarthy for the way the senator used voters' fear of communism in his favor. On February 9, 1950, McCarthy emerged whilst claiming he had a list of 205 people in the State Department who were known members of the American Communist Party. This list was based on evidence that was barely circumstantial and was meant only to promote McCarthy's career. This ensuing terror against communists utilized by McCarthy became known as McCarthyism.
Good evening. Tonight, See It Now devotes its entire half hour to a report on Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, told mainly in his own words and pictures.
Murrow and his team produced a half-hour See It Now special broadcast titled, A Report on Senator Joseph McCarthy. In it, Murrow utilized excerpts from McCarthy's speeches in which he contradicted himself. This broadcast was absolutely revolutionary. The broadcast contributed to a national backlash against the senator and is classified as a turning point of television. The CBS network received tens of thousands of letters, telegrams, and phone calls, almost all in favor of Murrow's views. This I Believe was a 5-minute program on CBS network that ran from 1951 to 1955. It was hosted by Murrow and encouraged listeners to write short essays about their personal motivation in life and then read them on air. 2 days after his 57th birthday, Murrow passed away due to lung cancer. Having been a lifelong chronic smoker, Murrow was always seen with a signature Camel cigarette in hand. CBS aired a memorial program in his honor.